I was sexually abused at an early age in my childhood, encouraged to not speak up to save my family, and threatened into silence as a teenager, being told I wouldn't be believed. As an adult, I spent a long time working in a professional, well-paying job before the flashbacks of my childhood sexual abuse began. I was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder, being put on medication to manage my condition, and offered support from community mental health services. I was misusing prescriptions in an attempt to take my own life, and drinking a lot. I was admitted into hospital where I was prescribed different drugs for psychiatric issues. Even while I was in hospital, my self-harm was severe, routinely hiding blades and on one occasion needing 270 stitches for one cut. I continued to try to take my own life, struggling to see a way forward from what I had experienced as a child.
I was sexually abused as a child, a trauma that has stayed with me for life. I was later sexually assaulted as a teenager by a stranger on my way home from a night out. This experience, at a formative age for my developing sexuality, made me afraid of going out at night and made my relationships with men even more difficult. I felt myself putting up a psychological barrier where I could not see myself with a partner. I rejected the advances of men and felt sexless in a way, oppressing my own desires to protect myself. I had my first proper relationship in my mid-20s with a very sexual partner, which allowed me to feel desirable, but very much like the object of affection, not the subject. These relationships became increasingly dysfunctional with more extreme partners, such as someone who struggled with drug addiction and tried to strangle me during an argument. I then had a long-term relationship with someone who was incredibly toxic. This relationship lasted for 6.5 years, and it was so abusive that I became dissociated from my body and feelings. I put on a lot of weight and withdrew socially.
My social worker gave me the number for BSARCs, and I phoned and spoke to someone there. Over the space of 2 years, I was offered counselling, where I could talk openly about what I had gone through, and psychotherapy to help me process and recover from the traumatic experiences that were impacting my mental health. BSARCs helped me to stop blaming myself, helped me to talk about anything and everything and start to live an enjoyable life again, leaving self-harm and thoughts of taking my own life in the past. I've even become a productive volunteer in my community, something that would not have been possible without BSARC's support. Without the welcoming team at BSARCs and their specialist support, I would have been dead.
I knew I needed support, but it took me a long time to start taking action. After building up the courage to look for specialist sexual abuse counselling and support, I self-referred to Sarasac. After my initial assessment, I got the call to start counselling, and I was given an amazing counsellor who was empathetic and provided me with the right level of challenge when I needed it. The sessions were extended as I had a lot to explore, and when they came to an end, I was offered a place in their group therapy. I had the most transformative experience in the group, as they were supportive and shared similar experiences. The counselling sessions and group therapy from Sarasac will stay with me forever, and I'm still in touch with the group a year later. We're there to support one another, and knowing I'm not alone, surrounded by people who genuinely understand, has been very powerful for me.
If you experience sexual harm, we know how difficult it can be, but you don't have to go through it alone. Across South Yorkshire, there are 4 local independent charities to support people who have experienced sexual harm in Barnsley, Sheffield, Doncaster and Rotherham. Our services include specialist counselling, independent sexual violence advisors and tailored assistance for children, young people and adults, regardless of their gender. We guide survivors through the recovery process, offering practical help, emotional support and advocacy in navigating the criminal justice system. By fostering a safe and inclusive environment, we empower survivors to rebuild their lives and access the care they need at any stage of their journey. If you or someone you know has been affected by sexual harm, help is available. You can contact us for free and confidential support at any of our local charities across South Yorkshire. Visit our websites or call our support lines today to take the first steps towards healing.